Do you want to know what are the different design thinking processes which are existing other than the 5 design stages in UX UI design? If you're curious enough to know more on other design thinking processes of in which can be used in your problem solving to your projects in UX UI design, this video is for you. Hi everyone, I'm Shamla. So this YouTube channel is all about a quick 10-minute short videos on my experiences on different situations. It is professional, educational and health relevant. Do share, like and subscribe to this channel and spread a word on this channel. So let the knowledge spread to everyone else and let it help to everyone. This video is all about top 3 design thinking process I would like to suggest. This is purely based on what I have learned throughout my work experience until now, and also from my masters. Just to give you a background, like I have done 2 internships. Like I have around like 10 months of internship experience, like 7 months as a UX UI design intern and 3 months as a product design intern here in UK. And also I have done my masters in user experience design in Kingston University, London, and before that I had done 3 months UX UI design course from scratch back in Bangalore in Designers Academy, just to give you a background. So based on my pure experience, I will be giving you the top 3 design thinking process I would like to suggest, which you can apply to your portfolios and to your case studies, where you can win over the interviews and enter into the dream job you're looking for. Then what are we waiting for? Let's start with the video. So my first design thinking process is Stanford design thinking. So this is the Stanford design thinking of 5 stages of design I am talking about. See, Stanford design thinking is something which in common in every single portfolio you see. It's the 5 stage of design thinking process: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, test. As soon as you enter into any course on UX UI design, this is the first design thinking process they say. So take a look at it and understand how these processes work. And each of these stage helps you. It's a bit of a long process. If I have to tell, in the practical field, this stage by stage process is not usually used. I'll tell you the other 2 approaches. Usually those 2 approaches are taken in field, in your work experience when you're working in office. But this Stanford design thinking was used back before, but currently in offices and all, they don't really take this process, because this process usually takes a long time for a project to be completed. So this is like time taking. This might take like around 3-4 months to complete this whole process, hiring the like all the participants for all the interviews and different research processes. It's very hard, like focus groups and all. So this is a process which is usually used in case studies for your portfolio and everything. So this is just to give you a glimpse of what the Stanford design thinking process is. My second design thinking process is Lean UX. This is the Lean UX process. Think, make and check phases I'm talking about. See, in Lean UX you have 3 categories. You have like think, make and check. Okay, think, again you can correlate it to your Stanford design thinking processes. To combination of think and make, empathize and define comes to think phase, and in the make phase it goes mostly to the ideation phase of the Stanford design thinking process. Think, make, check phase is purely into testing. Whatever the empathize, define, ideate, prototype and test. Prototype goes for your make phase. Okay, for the think phase it is empathize and define, and then for the make phase you can correlate it to your combination of ideation and prototype, and then in the test phase you can correlate it to the test phase of the Stanford design thinking process. So usually in the offices, this lean UX process is taken because this is a very quick process. You can do this process just within like 3-4 weeks. It's a very quick process. Just go through in Google and all on what is lean UX method on, so you will understand it much better. So it's a combination of think, make and check. Okay, first you tend to I'll just give you a glimpse of how this process works. In the case of think, it goes with first understanding the problem. You'll be understanding the problem just with creating a certain hypothesis statements, and then based on the certain hypothesis statements you would have gone through, or you would have got it with like through literatures or reading research papers and all. So based on that, you will be coming up to a certain hypothesis statements. So based on those hypothesis statements, you'll be doing certain interviews with the people. So once you do interviews, you tend to start finding the research problem either through an affinity diagram or a general approach like an affinity diagram, or that's the mostly approach which is usually taken to narrow down your problem. Okay, so with your affinity diagram, you'll be with the affinity diagram and narrative method, you'll be coming up with your user research problem. So based on the user research problem, you'll be conducting all the other methods, like it could be bullseye diagram. You'll be entering into your ideation phase, where you'll be having the bullseye diagram, and then you'll be having the user personas and all. So then you tend to, based on whatever ideation you would do, you'll be creating the whole Figma screens in the low-fi and the high-fi. You don't have any mid-fi in lean UX method. You'll be creating a low fidelity and then a high fidelity. Okay, fidelity. So then you'll be testing these prototypes with. See, then after you test it with the users, you'll be testing it with a certain use case scenarios. Like for, let's take in your particular project, you have 2 use case scenarios. So for one use case scenario, you would have a different tasks you'll be giving. Okay, so let's take for the first use case scenario, you'd be having like 5 tasks. And then for your second use case scenario, you would be having another 2 to 3 tasks. Okay, so you'll be performing with different use case scenarios based on the users you would be taking, and then you'll be testing with these tasks whether these tasks are really able to complete, like the users are able to complete these tasks or not. So if you feel the users are really struggling at any points, take a note of them, and you'll be conducting another phase of the testing phase by going back into the make phase, making the changes, and then entering back to the check phase. Like think, make and check. Okay, think, make and check. You'll be having into 3 phases, right? So in the check phase, again, you'll be checking it with the users in the second round, going back to the make phase, making the changes, again coming back to the check phase. Okay, sometimes if you feel there is some problem with the user problem you have found out, then you have to go back to the think phase, make the changes there, and then you have to enter back to the check phase and then test it with the users. Okay, so that's how think, make and check lean UX process works. So the third process is double diamond method. This is the double diamond model of solving a design thinking process I'm talking about. See, here in the double diamond method, again you have like 5 stages. First, it goes with discover, define. You'll be defining the problem, and then you would be developing the solution, and then you'll be delivering it. Okay, this process is usually used again in the companies when you're practicing in a firm and solving the real users problems, because this is a pretty quick process. And also, just give you a heads up, this process is also used in hackathons. In design hackathons, purposefully the design jury itself gives you a suggestion to use the double diamond method, because this is a very quick process where you can just find the solution within hours. Like if to give you an example, I had been to many hackathons here in London. So in most of these hackathons, they have used this double diamond method, where just within like around 5 to 6 hours, we would come up with a solution to using this double diamond method. So that quick this process is. So do check this process out to understand more in detail about this process. Yeah, so these are the top 3 design thinking process. I would highly suggest you can utilize it your case studies when you're doing your job applications and everything. And you need to know this before you enter into the practice, into the live field experience, like working live in companies. So I hope you like this video. Do like this video and subscribe to my channel and share this video so it would help everyone. See you in the next video then. Bye.